They told me I'd amount to nothing. That I was the family disappointment. The one who'd never measure up to Golden Boy Cameron. Well, let me tell you something about family expectations and how spectacularly wrong people can be. But before I continue, I want to know, where are you watching this from right now? Drop your location in the comments. Are you in your bedroom? Your office? Maybe you're listening to this while driving? I want to know where you are when you hear about the sweetest revenge I never planned but absolutely earned. Now, let me take you back to where it all started. My name is Kim Stark. I'm 31 years old, and I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a neighborhood where everyone knew everyone's business, especially mine. The year I turned 18, my Aunt Pamela said something at our family's 4th of July barbecue that carved itself into my bones. I can still smell the charcoal smoke, still taste the bitterness of that cheap lemonade when she looked right through me and said, "It's such a shame Kim doesn't have Cameron's drive. That boy's going places." Kim? Well, we'll see. Cameron Fletcher. My cousin. 6 months younger than me, but you'd think he was royalty the way my family worshipped him. Quarterback of his high school team. Debate champion. Early acceptance to Georgetown. The boy could do no wrong. Me? I was the girl who painted in her garage and worked double shifts at Rosie's Diner to save for community college. The girl whose father left when she was 9, whose mother worked 3 jobs just to keep our lights on. I was the Stark that didn't shine. That barbecue, Cameron stood there in his Letterman jacket, University of Oklahoma baseball cap on backward, grinning like he owned the world. And maybe he did. At least, he owned my family's admiration. Georgetown, Aunt Linda, he told my mother, loud enough for everyone to hear. Full ride. I'm thinking law school after. Maybe politics. The Fletcher name is going to mean something, you know? My mother smiled. That sad, wistful smile I knew too well. The one that said she wished I was him. That's wonderful, Cameron, she whispered. Then she looked at me. Kim's going to TCC. Community college. It's a start. A start. Like I was beginning a race everyone else had already finished.
I didn't cry.
Not then. I went home to our tiny rental on Edison Avenue, walked into my garage studio, and stared at the canvas I'd been working on for 3 months. It was a portrait of my mother when she was young, before life beat her down, before my father's betrayal, before she had to choose between electricity and groceries. And I made a decision. I was going to prove them all wrong. Here's the thing about being underestimated. It's the greatest camouflage in the world. While everyone's looking past you, you can build empires in the shadows. I spent 2 years at Tulsa Community College studying graphic design and business. Not glamorous. Not Georgetown. But I learned something Cameron never did in his prestigious halls. I learned how to hustle. I freelance logo designs on Fiverr for $15 a pop. Then $25. Then $50. I designed wedding invitations for my mother's friends. Album covers for local bands. I took every rejection as data, not defeat. Every no taught me what yes looked like. By 19, I had saved $8,000. By 20, I had moved to Oklahoma City and enrolled at the University of Central Oklahoma while working at a startup called Bright Path Media. They paid me $12 an hour to answer phones and make coffee. I didn't care. I watched everything. Learned everything. How they pitched clients. How they structured contracts. How they turned ideas into money. The founders, 2 guys named Ethan Russo and Khalil Washington, were brilliant but disorganized. They'd miss deadlines, lose clients, couldn't manage their books to save their lives. One night, around 11 p.m., I was the only one still in the office. We'd lost our 3rd major client that month, a real estate company that was taking their $30,000 annual contract elsewhere. I looked at their pitch deck. Saw the problem immediately. They were selling features, not transformation. They were talking about themselves, not their clients' dreams. I spent all night redesigning it. Not just the slides, the entire narrative. I made it about the client becoming the hero, with Bright Path as their guide. The next morning, I put it on Ethan's desk with a note. This is why you're losing clients. Here's how to keep them. 3 days later, he called me into his office. Kim, he said, studying me like he was seeing me for the first time. You're not a receptionist. What are you? Whatever you need me to be, I told him. He promoted me to junior strategist on the spot.
Doubled my salary.
$24 an hour felt like winning the lottery. Meanwhile, Cameron was thriving at Georgetown.
Or so it seemed.
His Instagram was all fraternity parties and networking events. He interned at a senator's office. Posted photos with people whose names showed up in newspapers. My family group chat, the one I rarely posted in, was constant Cameron updates. Aunt Pamela would share every achievement like it was scripture. Cameron just got invited to the Kennedy Center. Cameron made Dean's List again. Cameron's dating the daughter of a Supreme Court clerk. My mother would add little, wow, reactions and fire emojis. She never asked me how I was doing. I stopped expecting her to, but I kept building. By 23, I was BrightPath's Director of Client Strategy. By 25, I had taken us from 6 clients to 43. Revenue grew from $200,000 a year to $3.2 million. Ethan and Khalil both told me I was the best hire they'd ever made. But I knew something they didn't. I was learning how to replace them. Not maliciously, just strategically. Every pitch I wrote, every client I landed, every system I built, I was creating a playbook. My playbook. For my company. I left BrightPath 3 weeks after my 26th birthday. Gave them a month's notice, helped transition my clients, left on excellent terms. Ethan actually cried. You're going to do something extraordinary, Kim, he said. Just promise you'll remember us when you do. I promised.
And I meant it.
I founded Stark Solutions on March 15th, exactly 8 years after that 4th of July barbecue where Aunt Pamela counted me out. I had $47,000 saved, a roster of clients who trusted me, and a rage in my belly that could fuel rockets. Cameron graduated from Georgetown that May. My family threw him a party at Aunt Pamela's house, the nice one in Jenks with the pool and the 3-car garage. I wasn't invited. I didn't care. I was too busy signing my first 6-figure contract. The first year of Stark Solutions was baptism by fire. I worked 16-hour days. I pitched everyone. I failed more times than I can count, but every failure made me sharper.
Smarter.
Hungrier. I hired my first employee, a brilliant designer named Priya Anand who'd been overlooked at every agency in Oklahoma City because she didn't go to the right schools. Together, we were a 2-woman army. By year 2, we were a team of 8. Revenue hit $1.8 million. We weren't just surviving. We were thriving. And Cameron? He'd graduated with honors, landed a job at a prestigious consulting firm in Washington, D.C., Hendricks & Cole. Starting salary of $95,000. My family group chat exploded with celebration. I sent a simple, congratulations, Cameron message. He never replied. Year 3, Stark Solutions crossed $5 million in revenue. We'd become the go-to firm for mid-sized companies trying to scale. Our client retention rate was 94%. I'd been featured in Oklahoma Magazine's 40 Under 40 list. I bought my mother a house. Nothing extravagant, but it was hers. No more rent. No more landlords. She cried when I gave her the keys. I'm so proud of you, Kim, she whispered. It was the first time she'd ever said that. Year 4, we hit $8 million. Year 5, $12 million. I opened a second office in Austin. Then Denver. My team grew to 63 people. And I never posted about it. Not once.
No Instagram celebrations. No LinkedIn blebrais.
I just built in silence while everyone was watching Cameron perform. Then 8 weeks ago, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer.
Kim?
It's Cameron. Cameron Fletcher. Your cousin. I paused. Pulled my phone away from my ear, stared at his name like it was a ghost. Cameron, I said slowly. It's been a while. Yeah, I know. Listen, I hope this isn't weird, me calling out of nowhere. I got your number from Aunt Linda. My mother gave him my number. What can I do for you? I kept my voice neutral, professional. He laughed, that same easy, confident laugh from the barbecue all those years ago.
But there was something different in it now.
Something strained. Actually, I was hoping we could talk. Maybe grab coffee if you're ever in DC? Or, wait, where are you based now? Oklahoma City, I said. I run a consulting firm here. Oh, that's great. That's really great, Kim. Good for you. He said it the way you'd compliment a child's macaroni art. Listen, the reason I'm calling, I'm actually looking to make a career transition. Hendricks and Cole is great, but I'm ready for something more entrepreneurial, you know? More dynamic. I heard through the family grapevine that you have some kind of business, and I thought maybe. I let the silence stretch. Let him marinate in it. Maybe you might know of some opportunities? Or could introduce me to some people. I'm not asking for handouts or anything. I just think with your connections in Oklahoma, you might know someone who's hiring. My connections. My some kind of business. 12 years. 12 years of being invisible, and he still couldn't see me. Cameron, I said carefully, what exactly do you know about my company? Oh, just that you do consulting or something. Aunt Pamela mentioned it at Christmas. Said you were doing well. Which is awesome, Kim. Really awesome. He had no idea.
None.
Tell me something, I said. Why are you looking to leave Hendricks and Cole? That's a prestigious firm. You must be doing well there. The laugh again. Tighter this time. Yeah, well, the prestige doesn't pay the bills like it used to, you know? They promoted me to senior consultant last year, but I don't know. The work's not as exciting as I thought it would be. Plus, the cost of living in DC is insane. I'm barely saving anything. What's your current salary, if you don't mind me asking?
130, he said.
Then quickly. But I'm obviously flexible depending on the role and growth potential. $130,000. For a senior consultant at a top firm. Cameron Fletcher, the golden boy, was making 130. I was paying my mid-level project managers more than that. So, he continued, do you think you might know anyone?
Or,
if your company is hiring, I'd be open to that too. I'm not proud. I'd be willing to start in a mid-level position, work my way up, you know? He'd be willing to start mid-level. At my company. The company he thought was some kind of business. I opened my laptop. Pulled up our careers page. We had one opening. Director of Strategic Growth. $240,000 starting salary plus equity. Actually, Cameron, we are hiring. Can you send me your resume? Really? Oh man, Kim, that would be amazing. Yes, absolutely. I'll send it right now. This is really cool of you. Family helping family, right? Family helping family. I hung up and sat in my downtown office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Oklahoma City skyline. Original artwork on the walls. A team of brilliant people building something remarkable. And I started laughing. Not cruel laughter. Just the laughter of someone who finally saw the punchline. His resume arrived 20 minutes later. It was impressive on paper. Georgetown degree. 5 years at Hendricks and Cole. Leadership positions. Recommendations. But it was also generic. Safe. The resume of someone who'd followed the path, checked the boxes, done what was expected. There was no hunger in it. No evidence of building anything. Just maintenance. Just coasting on credentials. I called my COO, Priya. She's my partner now. We'd made her part owner last year. Priya, I said, I just got a resume for my cousin. The one I told you about. The golden boy. The one they said you'd never be as successful as? That's the one. He's asking for a job. She was quiet for a moment. Then, what are you going to do? That was the question, wasn't it? I could reject him outright. Petty revenge. It would feel good for about 10 seconds, then hollow. I could hire him, put him in a junior position, make him work his way up, make him see exactly what he'd underestimated. But that felt cruel, and I'd never built my empire on cruelty.
Or,
I'm going to interview him, I told Priya. Fairly. Professionally. And then I'm going to make a decision based on merit. You're a better person than me, she said.
No, irrablia.
I'm just not interested in revenge. I'm interested in building the best company possible. If Cameron can contribute to that, great. If he can't, that's not about him. It's about standards. The interview was scheduled for 2 weeks later. Cameron flew to Oklahoma City. I had my assistant book him at the Omni, nice, but not extravagant. He walked into our office lobby, and I watched him on the security camera feed. Saw him take in the space. The 40-foot ceilings. The modern design. The 80-person open workspace humming with focused energy. The wall of client logos, Fortune 500 companies, international brands, names that meant something. His face changed. The easy confidence flickered. My assistant, Tyrone, greeted him. Mr. Fletcher? Welcome to Stark Solutions. Kim will see you in a few minutes. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? This is Kim's company? Cameron asked, looking around. All of this. All of this. Tyrone confirmed with a smile. She built it from nothing. 7 years ago, it was just her in a shared workspace. Now we're in 3 cities and expanding to Chicago next quarter. I let him sit in the waiting area for exactly 7 minutes. Not as a power play. I was genuinely finishing a client call. But I won't pretend I didn't enjoy watching him squirm a little. When I finally walked out to greet him, he stood up so fast he almost knocked over the coffee Tyrone had brought him. Kim, he said.
Wow.
I had no idea. This is incredible. I shook his hand. Firm. Professional. It's good to see you, Cameron. Come on back. We sat in my conference room. Glass walls. View of the city. I had Priya join us. She's sharper than I am at reading people, and this was too important for ego. So, I began, sliding a copy of his resume across the table. Tell me why you want to leave Hendricks and Cole. He launched into his prepared answer. Growth opportunities. Entrepreneurial environment. Passion for innovation. All the buzzwords. All the things you're supposed to say. I let him finish. Then, Cameron, what's the hardest thing you've ever built from scratch? He blinked. What do you mean? I mean exactly that. What have you created? Not maintained, not improved, not consulted on. What have you built that didn't exist before you? The silence was heavy. I've helped clients build strategies. Implemented new systems. That's the nature of consulting, right? You build solutions for clients. You help them build. I said gently. That's different. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's different. Priya leaned forward. Cameron, this role requires someone who can operate with almost no direction. Someone who sees gaps and fills them. Who creates playbooks, not follows them. Based on your experience, can you give me an example of when you've done that? He tried. He really did. He talked about a project at Hendricks and Cole where he'd streamlined a client's operations. About a presentation that won a new contract. About leadership in his fraternity. But with every answer, I saw it more clearly. Cameron had been excellent at following the path. At leveraging privilege. At being good enough to advance in systems designed to advance people like him. But he never had to fight. Never had to build. Never had to prove he deserved to exist in a space that didn't want him there. The interview lasted 45 minutes. We asked fair questions. He gave decent answers. And when it was over, I walked him back to the lobby. We'll be in touch, I told him. Thank you for flying out. Yeah, of course. Kim, I just want to say... He paused, and for the first time, I saw something real in his eyes. Shame, maybe. Or recognition. I didn't know you'd built all this. I should have known. Should have asked. Should have paid attention. I'm sorry. It was the first time anyone in my family had apologized for not seeing me. I appreciate that, I said. And I meant it. After he left Priya, and I sat in my office. Well, she asked. He's competent, I said. He'd be fine in a structure role with clear direction. But he's not right for Director of Strategic Growth. Agreed. So what do we do? I thought about it. About that 18-year-old girl at the barbecue. About my mother's sad smile. About Aunt Pamela's dismissal. About 12 years of proving myself in silence. We offer him a job, I said. Associate strategist. $75,000. Same as any entry-level hire with his experience in our structure. If he's good, he'll grow. If he's not, he won't. No special treatment because he's family. No punishment because of history, just fairness. Priya smiled. The stark difference. The stark difference, I agreed. I sent the offer letter that evening. Included a personal note. Cameron, I believe in merit over pedigree. This role is where your experience fits in our structure. If you want it, it's yours. If you don't, I understand. Either way, I wish you well.
Kim.
He called me 3 days later. I need to be honest, he said. 75,000 is a big step down from what I'm making now. I know, I said. But I've been thinking about what you asked. About building things. And I realized I haven't. I've been following a script my whole life. The right schools. The right jobs. The right moves. And I'm 29 years old, and I don't know what I've actually created that's mine. I waited.
So, I want to take the job, he said.
Not because you're family. Not as charity. But because I think maybe it's time I learned how to build something. And if I'm going to learn that from anyone, it should be from someone who's actually done it. He started 3 weeks ago. And here's the twist you weren't expecting. He's good. Not great yet, but good. He shows up early. Asks questions. Takes notes. Admits when he doesn't know something. Yesterday, he pitched an idea in our team meeting that was actually innovative. Priya caught my eye and smiled. The real revenge isn't him asking me for a job. The real revenge is that I gave him one. On my terms. In the world I built. Where merit matters more than last names or where you went to school or who your parents knew. Last week, we had our quarterly family gathering. First one I'd attended in 3 years. I brought my team, 12 of us went, turned it into a bonding thing.
Cameron was there too.
Aunt Pamela cornered me by the dessert table.
Kim, she said stiffly.
I hear Cameron is working for you now. With me? I corrected gently. He works with me. It's very generous of you.
Giving him a chance like that.
I looked at her. This woman who'd written me off. Who'd measured my worth against her son's accolades. Who'd never once asked what I was building. Aunt Pamela, I said, Cameron is talented. But he's learning that talent without hunger is just potential. I didn't give him a chance. He earned a position. There's a difference. She opened her mouth, closed it, then said something I never expected. You've done well for yourself, Kim. Really well. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. 2 apologies in 1 month. Both sincere. Maybe that's the real victory.
Not that they were wrong about me.
But that I became successful enough that they had no choice but to acknowledge it. My mother found me later, tears in her eyes. I'm so proud of you, she whispered. I always knew you were special. I didn't know how to help you be special.
I'm sorry.
You kept us alive, Mom, I told her. That was enough. I took it from there. So here I am, 31 years old, running a $15 million company, employing 78 people across 4 cities, including my cousin, the golden boy who everyone said I'd never measure up to. They were right about one thing. I'll never be as successful as Cameron was supposed to be. I'm more successful than that. Because I didn't follow the path. I carved my own. Through doubt and dismissal and every person who looked past me. And now the path I carved is one other people follow. Including him. That's not revenge. That's justice. That's proof that hunger beats pedigree. That being underestimated is a gift if you're smart enough to use it. That the quiet ones building in the shadows are the ones who change everything. So to everyone watching this who's been counted out, who's been told they don't have what it takes, who's working in the garage while someone else gets the applause, keep building. Stay hungry. Let them underestimate you. Because one day, they'll be asking you for a job. And you'll be successful enough to say yes. I'm Kim Stark. And this is my story.
And if you love real-life stories with tough choices, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.